Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Wednesday, October 16, 2024. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me. And thanks for tuning in to check on your regular current astrology. As you know, as above, so below. So if we can get a hint, a clue, or an inkling as to what kind of energies are at play on the universal level out there, well, we are part of out there on the universal level. And so we know what kind of energies are at play on our own lives. And it's really all about having all the information that we can get to navigate our own lives in a way that is peaceful and helps us make the progress that we seek. So thank you for being here with me for that. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're feeling very happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and supported. Here in beautiful Lee Summit, Missouri, I feel very happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and so supported. It's a gorgeous morning outside, but it's quite chilly. I've got the windows closed and the heat on, and I'm grateful that we've had a sort of mild descent into autumn here. I'm giving gratitude for that today. So thanks again for being here. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Just let me know that you're watching. Say hello to me so that I can say hello to you as well, okay? All right. So today the sun is in Libra and the moon is in Aries. That means they are standing across the sky from each other in opposite signs. And that means we are in the full of the moon, right? Tomorrow is the actual full moon, but we are right there verging up on it. So when the sun is in Libra, we are thinking about the balance in our relationships to other people, to ourselves, and to the stuff and things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. We're looking at where we can give as good as we get, We're looking at where we might be taking more than we are putting in, okay? And we are taking action to make an adjustment and bring balance into those situations. And where we can't take action on our own, there's a negotiation, there's a conversation that has to happen so that we can get more than one person on the same page to bring balance back into these situations. And especially with the sun in Libra and the moon on the other side in Aries, that balance is emphasized. And part of the balance that is emphasized here is the balance between the individual and the pair, okay? The balance between me, I, and what I like and what I want to do and what I think, and how that impacts the other people that I am engaged with, whether I'm working with them or living with them or, socializing with them, whatever the case may be. How do the things that I choose to do individually as a person with autonomy in the world, right? How do the things that I do impact other people? It's an important question to be asking at this time. Now, Mercury, Venus, and Mars are all in water signs. Mercury just got into Scorpio. Venus is about to leave Scorpio. So they're just in Scorpio together for a few days. And that's really about looking for what you value or imagining what you value that might be sort of unseen, but behind. So we have to, sometimes when we're looking for something, like when we're looking for the thing that indicates how well the balance is being preserved in a relationship, sometimes we have to go a little deep. We have to look at the parts that are unspoken, the parts that are not talked about, the parts that we don't normally give any attention to. Those are the parts that need attention right now. And Mars in Cancer, Mars likes to go direct. Cancer is very indirect. So there's a little bit of frustration in terms of the forward motion that we'd like to get. And that is important because Mars is ruling this full moon. Mars in Cancer is ruling this full moon in Aries, right? So Mars rules Aries, but Mars is usually in Aries when it rules Aries, or Mars is in Scorpio. And these are both, sort of battle-prone figures that are up for the fight. But that gives you an ability to be direct and make moves, right? Whereas Mars in Cancer is a little bit like, I want to go forward, but I got to go to the side before I can go forward. So it is a little bit of a frustrating vibe. It is an emotional vibe, and it can give us some it can give us some angry initiative, to be honest with you. So we want to be really careful about that, because we are still talking about the balance in these relationships with ourselves, with others, with the things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. And we really want to not let impatience and restlessness take over the way we behave in those situations right now. Okay. We want to try to be the bigger person. Okay. And, really try not to be too assertive. Not trying not to be too assertive, but trying not to let our anger and frustration drive the assertiveness that we enact. Okay, so this week's vibe is a little bit yay. It's a little bit big and expansive. It's a little bit of a celebration because we've got this full moon, but there's also just a couple of things coming in here that have to do with Mars, that are bringing in frustration and sort of humps to get over, and a question of like, are you going to let that stop you, right? So this is going to be a matter this week of really keeping your self-expression in terms of the progress you're trying to make. You like really keeping in mind what it is that you're saying, that there are other people on the other end of the conversation that you're having, and we don't want to be destructive when we're trying to make progress, right? Okay, so Sun trined Jupiter on Sunday and then squared Mars on Monday. So big expansive energy, and then a little frustration comes in, right? And Mars is standing virtually still in the sky because it's in its shadow. It's going to go retrograde soon. Yay, big fun. That's coming up too. And so we've got Mars standing virtually still in the sky. That means that these aspects to Mars, they get kind of stuck. They're not moving on as quickly as they normally do. So when the sun is square to Mars, that sticks around for a few days. And in fact, Mars will be square to both the sun and moon when we get to that full moon tomorrow. So that frustration is in the air, that sense of wanting to make progress, but having to do more work for it than we thought. Having to communicate more than we would like to, and feeling very frustrated about it, but having to look for constructive ways to express that frustration and that assertiveness that we feel, right? Okay, so that's the vibe that we're coming into the week with. Also, Venus trined Neptune yesterday, which is very idealistic and delightful. These are the lower and higher versions of love and receptiveness. Faith is in here, imagination is in here, idealism is in here. But remember, sometimes we idealize things because we don't see them clearly, and Neptune brings a little bit of that as well. But with Venus trine to Neptune, it's almost like that loving, delightful feeling. That idealism is just ambient, and we feel it, and we're open to it, and perhaps it is helping to guide us in the direction of our dreams, right? So are we going to let the frustration of these squares to Mars, and Mars being in Cancer, stop us from reaching for what's best for us? That's really the question here. So tomorrow, full moon in Aries, exciting, restless energy, very close to the North Node. So whereas the new moon, which was by the South Node, was very much about what we're putting behind us, this full moon, which is close to the North Node, is really very much about our trajectory. Where are we going? What are we heading toward? Okay, what is it that in leaving things behind, we've been making room for those bigger, better things that we would like to be, do, and have, right? So that's the idea right now, especially with the sun trining Jupiter and Venus trining Neptune. Whatever you can idealize, whatever is the biggest, best thing you can imagine for yourself, this is the time to really go for it. This is the time to really be setting your heart on bigger goals, on a higher expectation for yourself. Also tomorrow, Venus is going to have a sextile to Pluto before moving on into Sagittarius. So Pluto is in the final degrees of Capricorn for the very last time for 200 years. Pluto is going to move on into Aquarius on the 17th of November. But in the meantime, all the planets, as they exit one sign and move to another, are going to aspect Pluto right there at that anaretic degree, at the 29th degree, which is the most powerful degree. So Venus is sextiling Pluto, and this is like our sense of what we value, what we like, love, and can't get enough of in a cooperative relationship with transformative change, in a cooperative relationship with seeing what's underneath and behind things, and being accepting of it, and being able to perhaps even use it in our imagination of what is bigger and better for us, right? And then Venus moves on into Sagittarius. This is a very dreaming, big kind of vibe. This is very much a wanting more for ourselves kind of vibe, but it's also a vibe where we can tend to overcommit or commit too quickly to things. So I just want you all to be aware of that. And then coming up on Friday, the sun is going to make two adjustments, one to Uranus and one to Neptune. This is a time when flexibility is going to be called for, and perhaps we need to use our imagination a little bit. Perhaps we need to have a little faith in ourselves. I think that that's really coming up, especially because we'll still be in that full of the Aries full moon. Having faith in yourself to be able to get the job done, having faith in the people and things that you have put your faith in before, and actually being able to imagine a different way to move forward, knowing that you can do it. Okay. And then next week on Monday, Mercury has a trine with Saturn coming up, and this is a great time to sign a contract or commit to something, or maybe some opportunity will show itself to you and you get a chance to act on it. And this is professionally, but just basically in any of your collaborations, any of your plans, what you're thinking about, what you're communicating to other people, what you're sharing with other people, what you're working with other people on. There's going to be some sort of serious positive opportunity that has the potential to add to your sense of stability. And then next week, the sun will square Pluto before moving on into Scorpio, and I will be here with you on Monday to talk about that. But really what we're coming up on next week is connecting with the hidden reasons behind our sense of purpose. So whatever it is that you have a sense of purpose about in the world, whatever it is you're trying to bring into the world, whatever work you think is important enough to be doing, we're going to be focusing a little bit next week on what are our deeper motivations for doing those things, because we want to make sure that our foundational motivations for our sense of purpose are really in the right place and sort of up to date on what we're doing and why we do it, right? 2.5 weeks till Halloween and Samhain at the end of the month, and then the very next day is that lunar Samhain, which is the new moon in Scorpio. In previous years we've had a week or two to celebrate Samhain, and this year, it's all happening in 2 days. So if it feels right now as though the veil is already thin and you can sense spirit around you, or you can sense your ancestors reaching out to you, you wouldn't be alone. It feels pretty thin out there to me. And, my wife, Mrs. Rose, is a talented psychic. And, we just walked into this very public place the other day, and she was just like, whoa, there's so much spirit here. There were so many just sort of ancestors hanging around with people, so much more going on around us than we could even see. So, if that's something that troubles you, having spirit around you, having the ghosts of your ancestors sort of talking to you or reaching out to you, reminding you of things from when they were around, it's okay to put up some protections. It's okay to have conversations and just say, hey, I'm not really open to this. I don't want this. Okay. Please stay on your side of the veil. It's okay to talk to them and say that. It's also okay just to say, for me, my dad is with me a lot. So it's okay to say, okay, Dad, I see that you're here, you're around, thank you for being by my side and trying to protect me and guide me. And that will be enough for now, because sometimes Dad has a lot of input. Okay. So that is the coming week in astrology. And I hope, like I said, that you're all feeling very happy and well and blessed and whole and supported. And I will be here on Friday, hopefully. I've missed the last 2 Fridays, and I'm so sorry about that. But my plan is to also be here on Friday to talk to you. So I hope that you have a great couple of days and a lovely full moon in Aries. And I will see you all in the next video.